Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. It is Flour It Up Friday. So I have all my ingredients out, but before I get started, I just want to say I hope Ashley and Amy of Martin's Midlife Misadventures is feeling a lot better. They've had a couple of issues the past week with things falling on their toes, spider bites, that sort of thing. I just want to say I'm keeping you in my prayers, and it's time to get flouring it up. I have out my bread maker here. I'm going to use that today to help me with my project. I have my flour, my sugar. I'm using milk powder. I'm going to turn it into milk because the recipe calls for milk. I have some Crisco here. I have 1 egg, and I have some yeast. Can you figure out what I'm going to be making in my bread maker? I bet you can. So I'm using my bread machine today to make my flour it up project, and I'm using that because I have other things to do, and I'm trying to get a couple of things done while I do this. So I've mixed up my milk, and I'm putting my milk in. It's my milk, and I'll put the recipe below. This is not my recipe. I copied this from, I'll put it in the description box below where I got the recipe from, but I'm following her instructions to the T. Pretty much, and she used a bread machine for this. So I'm putting in my sugar and my yeast, just measuring out my yeast here, and usually my bread machine actually separates the yeast at the top, so hopefully this works out. And you really should follow the directions for putting your ingredients in for your bread machine, but I'm going against the norm here, so hopefully it works out. Okay, so the next thing to put in is my egg that I beat up a little bit. So in goes my egg. Now I'm putting in my salt. That's one of the, I'm glad I went over the recipe again, because yeah, one of the things I didn't have out is my salt, and I probably shouldn't do this over the baskets, but I am. You can't see that, but I did. So in goes my salt. Don't like to put my salt right on top of my yeast like that, but that's how she did it, so we're gonna do it that way. In goes my Crisco. Just in goes that. And then the only thing left is to put in my flour. So the recipe doesn't really say what kind of flour to use. I'm using all-purpose flour because that's all I have in the house at the moment. I have no bread flour in the house. So I'm using up my all-purpose flour and just putting it in. And once I get that in, I'm going to put it in my bread maker, and I'm going to carry on with my day while it's doing its thing. Okay, so I've got all the ingredients in the bread maker. I double checked the recipe to make sure I had everything in. I'm going to set it on the dough function, which is 9. That's the dough function. It's going to go for an hour and a half. I'm going to just close my lid down and press start. And in an hour and a half, I'll be back. And there it is, going. Okay, so my bread machine is finished. I had a little issue with it, so hopefully this works out. It rose, but as you can see, the top's not that flat because I had a piece of lard stuck at the side that didn't incorporate, so I folded it in, and that's why the top looks like that. So hopefully it'll be okay. You can see a little bit right there, but I think it's going to be okay. Have you figured out what I am making yet? Maybe this will help. I lightly flavored my clean countertop. And I'm going to give you a hint. It is not bread. It's not bread. So this dough is a little bit sticky. I did wash my hands just now. And I'm just going to take out the hook from the bread maker. And I'm going to just flour the top a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't want too much flour. And I'm actually going to press this out by hand, being gentle not to deflate it completely. I want to be gentle with it. So, yeah. I'm going to pat it down, and this is the final hint. I have a round cookie cutter and my M1 tip that I'm going to cut a hole in the center of it. Can you know what I'm baking, or should I say frying now? Yep, donuts. And I've never made them in my bread maker before, so hopefully this turns out good. So I'm gonna pop this because that's probably where I try to mix in the last of my lard that was stuck to the side. So yeah, gonna get this out and we're gonna start cutting some of our donuts. So yeah, I feel a lot of air in here, and I'm pretty sure it was because of that lard, but I'm gonna leave most of it and I'm gonna start cutting out my donuts. And I'm gonna use my M1. This is the M1 Wilton tip for the center that I've used before, and I'm going to put it on a cookie sheet. I'm not using parchment. I'm gonna use my soap pad, and I did put a little bit of oil on it. She used spray, non-stick spray. I don't have any of that, and I'm not gonna buy any of that. So I just used a bit of olive oil, and I'm gonna put my donuts right on top of the tray. So I got about 10 before I had to roll it up again. But the issue I ran into was that lard that didn't fully mix in. I don't know if you can see it right here. It's like a layer, and this one was actually completely separated. But I just pinched it back together, and I'm gonna leave that one, see how it goes. And I think this one is affected as well. But the rest of them, I actually had to roll it out, actually knead it again to where you see it here. And because I found that pocket of lard that wasn't completely incorporated in. So I'm gonna get these rolled out, and she said if you have to, with the second one that you pull the scraps together, it might be a little tougher, but I think it's gonna be okay. Here they are. I've got plastic wrap on top of them. I'm just gonna let them rise, and it shouldn't take any time whatsoever. Today is the first day of a 5-day heat wave here. It's gonna be 96 degrees today, so it's already hot. So it shouldn't take but any time for these to rise. So for the scraps, I just made donut holes. I have one that he loves donut holes, and we haven't had donuts from Dunkin' Donuts in years. So I decided to make the scrap into donut holes, and he will love those. And then whatever was left, I just made it into a donut. This will probably be the toughest one of all, because this is all the scraps, as you can see, all together. That will probably be my one to taste test. So I'm gonna get these rising, and I'm gonna get the oil heating up while it's doing that. So it's been, about 45 minutes, and as you can see, they have risen. These ones are the second rolling ones, and they rose a lot more than the first ones I rolled out. And I'm not sure why that is, but yeah. I'm just waiting for my oil to come up to temp, and I'm gonna start frying these. Holes look like. And that one donut that I pieced together, that one has risen quite a bit as well. As you can see, the donut holes are as well. And I'm gonna get these frying. I think I'm gonna put cinnamon sugar on these, and I'm probably gonna glaze the donuts. Okay, so I've got my first 3 donuts in, and they've been in for about a minute, and they're ready to turn already. Okay, so my oil got a little bit too hot. I'm letting it cool down. So while I'm doing that, while my oil is cooling, I'm gonna make the glaze for it. And it turned really dark outside, like it's about to storm. So if the lighting's not the best, that's why. So I have about a cup of icing sugar in here in a bowl. I'm just gonna add a touch of vanilla to it, and I'm not measuring any of this. Just a touch of vanilla, maybe like half a teaspoon. And I'm gonna do a splash of milk until it's the consistency I want. Okay, so here they are. My oil was too hot when I first put them in. I should have checked my thermometer that I put on the side, but I didn't. And not until I had them in already. And as you can see, they got a little dark. It was a little too hot. But I did try the one. And you can see in there. It tastes pretty good. Now, I will say it tastes, I put the other half, I put some of the glaze on it, and it tastes even better. So yes, to the glaze. The second batch is in, and my oil is right at 350. So I'm going to fry this on one side for about 2 hours and on the other 2 hours. Really? Yeah, I would have crispy donuts by then. So about 2 minutes, and then on the other side for about a minute or so. Okay, so here they are glazed. This is the first batch of 3. I ate the other one. And then I got a little bit better with frying them. And then I had a issue with keeping the oil at temp because of my stove and it wanting to cool down. But anyway, I did pretty good, I think. And these are the donut holes. I have the cinnamon sugar right here for them, and I'm just going to, they're still kind of warm, so I'm just going to drop them in here and shake them around. And I'm going to glaze. I made a little bit more glaze, and I'm going to glaze these, what's that, 7 more donuts. And we will probably have this eaten before the weekend's out, which is crazy to me. But they are really good. So I do like the fact that I can put it in the bread maker and pretty much forget about it until I need to shape them and fry them. But next time I make them, and it will be a next time, I will cut up that lard so it incorporates better. That's one thing I will do next time I make these. But all in all, bread machine donuts are really good, and you should try it. So flour it up. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And click that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. God bless, and remember, stay safe and keep prepping.